Hello and welcome to this introductory case study in this course AI for Managers and Leaders. So in this, we will take a look at a case study of how a manager and a leader used AI to address the threat of automation without accountability and also leverage the opportunity of human judgment and leadership. So let's take a look at this case. And this is a case of the accountability crisis in the company after implementing AI and how Mira transformed AI from risk to advantage. So let's take a look at this case study there. So what is the background in the case? So it's about Meera Nair, name mask, face mask person, a middle level operations manager at a global logistics company who is promoted to lead a newly formed AI transformation unit, right? Great opportunity for her. And her mandate is, to use AI in this unit to improve efficiency by 30% across operations. So that's the background of the situation. So what is the crisis that she got into? So within 6 months of AI deployment, right, things changed. What changed? AI start systems started making decisions like demand forecasting, route optimization, and vendor selection. And that you could say was good, but there were issues. There were wrong vendor selection because of blind reliance on AI. They started culture happening. AI made the decision. Culture. People started making AI a scapegoat because there was no ownership. Losses of the company increased because of there were escalation delays. Things were not escalated in time, and there were biases in vendor evaluation, and that raised ethical concern. So there were many issues that you see here that made Mira think. So that is the crisis that emerged within 6 months of AI deployment. So what was the core problem that Mira identified? She identified that automation increased efficiency but destroyed accountability. And the key learning there for her was that, AI without accountability increases a decision vacuum because AI that it does not know everything about the business and your plans. So without accountability, AI starts making decisions that leads to vacuum. So what was Mira's diagnosis? What did she diagnose? What did she figure out what to do? So instead of blaming AI, Mira reframed the issue. She said this is not an AI problem. It is a leadership design failure. She said, we as leaders have not designed the whole system properly using AI. And she identified three gaps. She identified the first gap was there's no human in the loop. AI decisions were final. And that what was having its negative impact on the business performance. There's no decision ownership among the team. And nobody became accountable for outcomes, good or bad. And there was no judgment framework. Employees did not know when to trust AI and when to override it. So that was the Mira's diagnosis on three key issues. So then she made a strategic shift from automation to augmentation. Mira introduced a new philosophy in the company that point of time that AI will recommend and humans will decide and own. And the learning there is that the future is not AI versus human, but it is AI plus accountable humans. Now, what did she do in this strategic shift from automation to augmentation? Let's take a look at the steps she took. So, first step, she redesigned the decision architecture. She introduced three-layer decision model. Layer one was where AI would do the recommendation using data-driven insights, probabilities, and prediction. Layer two would be human judgment, where the contextual understanding would be taken care of, ethical considerations will be made, and experience based overrides may happen. And the third layer was accountability ownership, in which there was a named decision owner and responsibility for outcome was assigned. And the learning from this redesigning of the decision architecture was that every AI decision must have a human owner. So that's how she redesigned the decision architecture. Then in the second step she did was to build AI confidence thresholds. So she implemented, where and how you could, have confidence in AI. If the AI's confidence itself was greater than 90%, you could take an action in the system of auto executing with audit, even there with audit. If confidence were lower at 70 to 90% band, then human review was required, and if it was less than 70%, human decision was mandatory. And the learning there is that not all decisions need human involvement at the same level. It's based on you need to design thresholds to see where to leave it for audit and auto execution, where to have a human review, and where to make this human decision mandatory. And so you need to build such AI confidence thresholds level. Then she built judgment capability because that was another cause that she found out, right? And she trained team on, when to trust AI and when to override AI. And there, she trained them. They built the capability to trust AI when data quality were high and stable environment, and to override in new situations with ethical concerns and high risk decisions. And what she learned there is judgment is not intuition, it's a trained capability. And she was able to build that capability in the team to decide when to trust AI and when to override. Then she also built an accountability framework. She introduced a decision ownership matrix in which each decision type there was an owner. Like vendor selection, it was procurement head, route planning, it was ops manager, pricing, it was the strategy team. And there, she saw was AI is becoming a tool, not a scapegoat, right? And the learning here is that accountabilities must be designed, not assumed, because if you assume it will not happen. So you need to design and assign the ownership for the decision types that are being made by AI. And also she worked on the cultural transformation. So before, that culture had become of saying AI decided. Now she worked, seriously on changing the culture to AI recommended and I decided. She asked people to change their language. And what she did this along with the change in language was she reinforced the decision logs. She asked people to keep decision logs, post decision reviews, and the learning loops from such decision reviews. And what she learned here is that the culture changes when you are able to change the language itself from AI decided to AI recommended and I decided. So that's the cultural transformation that she could make. And she leveraged AI and leadership to the advantage. She didn't only cover the gaps. She did not only worry about the, gaps. Mira used AI a lot more strategically. She used it for scenario simulations. She used AI to generate multiple scenarios and then asked leaders to choose the best path. She also used AI for bias detection, where AI would flag anomalies and humans would interpret it with fairness, and also faster decision cycle, where AI will reduce the analysis time and humans will focus on judgment and decide faster. And what she learned here was that AI should reduce thinking effort but not thinking responsibility. So that's how she leveraged AI and leadership to her advantage. So what were the results after 9 months? The metrics, if you look at the metric says the decision errors went down 40% from being very high. And the accountable clarity moved up to 100% after being mapped. The decision speed went up by 30% from average, medium speed average. And the employee's confidence, most important, went up to high level from a very low level. And that started making difference in financial results as well. So what was along with that, there was a leadership transformation that happened. She, as a manager, she Mira optimized the processes, improved efficiencies, but as a leader, she redesigned decision system, accountability structures, and organizational mindset. And the learning for her and for us there is that the managers optimize systems where leaders redefine systems, and we need to have both done, either by the same person or by different people. So that's the leadership transformation that happened there. So what is the strategic framework that she used and we can also use? It's the HERO model. The H being for humans in the loop, where you always include human judgment in the key decisions that are being made by AI. Then do accountability mapping, where you assign clear ownership to such decisions. Then you have learning loops. You have continuously improvements in decision making by learning, reviewing the decisions, having the learning of these decisions. And then you finally optimize with AI by using AI to speed or scale or make better decisions. So that's the Halo strategic framework that you can also use. As a manager or a leader, there are certain things that you need to take care of. You need to worry about the risk of automation. And what are these risk of automations? Blind trust. You can't trust the AI blindly. You need to learn when to agree with it or when to override. You need to have ownership because anything left without ownership will go wrong. And then you need to avoid the ethical failures. That's the third thing you need to do. And these are the risk of automation. Then there are opportunities with AI and leadership that you need to capitalize as manager and a leader. These are you can make better decisions. We saw that. You can make faster execution because AI can do thinking and execution much faster. Then you can have stronger accountability if you have assigned named ownership. And then you can also need to have an opportunity for ethical governance so that everyone has trust in this. So these are some key takeaways for you. Now, let's pose some reflection questions for you. In your organization, who owns AI-driven decisions? Do you have ownership clearly assigned, or is it no one? Do people trust AI blindly, or they challenge it intelligently? That's another question for you to think about it. And the third and the last question is, are you using to AI replace thinking or to enhance it? And think about these questions and see how you can, as a manager and leader, make better use of AI. So thank you so much for this introductory case study. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy. And I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.